Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Brittany with Horoscope.com. Here are 3 things you need to know in order to make today, Saturday, February 23rd, 2019, a success. Now the first thing I want to talk about is going to be right here where the moon is in Libra. The moon's in Libra brings our attention to relationships, usually one-on-one relationships with other people in our lives, as well as finding more of the balance in our lives, although that may be a little bit hard at this time with some other things going on. Now what we've got happening very, very early this morning is that this moon in Libra is going to be making a square with the nodal axis. There's a north node in Cancer, here's the south node in Capricorn. To me, whenever a planet squares the nodal axis, it becomes super, super important because a lot of times we want to avoid it or we don't want to do it or we're afraid of it. And in this case, I think what's going on here is relationships. You got to make choices about relationships. A major theme I see in multiple places in the chart. You got to focus on relationships. Figure out what's going on with the other people in your life. And I think once you figure out what's going on with relationships, it's going to help you here to feel more comfortable, more grounded, to feel like your emotions are being taken care of and like you're, feeling better about what you need emotionally in order to move forward. Okay, going to be a big thing. I think after that happens, a few hours later, now this is going to be around breakfast time as we're getting up and moving around. Then this moon is going to make an opposition over here to Uranus at the 29th degree of Aries. So what's happening here is that as we're focusing on relationships, figuring out what we want and need in relationships, not only to put our life in a better place, but to also feel more emotionally grounded and comfortable, we may do something unexpected in order to break free from old situations that are holding us back, and in order to live a life that's more authentic to us, working with people in a way that also is more authentic to us and liberating and feels better. So I do actually like this a lot. Again, I think this can bring turning points. Sometimes whenever I see the nodes involved, this could definitely bring turning points. Again, also with the Saturn, Pluto, Venus thing going on in your relationships that are going to be very, very powerful to help you figure out more of what you need in relationships, get more comfortable with the people in your life, and put things back on the right track. What's going to happen after that now as we move towards lunchtime is that this moon in Libra is then going to move into the sign of Scorpio. And when the moon's in Scorpio, it then brings our attention to taking these relationships and maybe even some of these decisions that we made and going much more deeply with people to figure out, okay, now that we made this decision, can we do this or not? And what does this look like once we made this decision? What changes do we need to make in our relationship to reorganize our time, our resources, our money in order to work together? That comes into focus. Okay, I actually do like what is going to happen with this moon in Scorpio, because a few hours later now around dinner, the moon is then going to make a trine over here to the sun in Pisces. And I think the more that we make decisions about relationships and trying to work with people deeply in order to rearrange our life to accommodate these decisions that we made, it's then going to help us feel more at peace with our life, overcome the past, and get more in touch with our spirit and our intuition to help us do what we need and to move on. That's going to happen there. The next and the last alignment of the day is going to happen right around bedtime. At bedtime, this moon in Taurus is then going to oppose Mars. The moon in Scorpio is then going to oppose Mars in Taurus. And what that could then bring up as well, I want to say, sometimes it can be a little frustrating. Sometimes moon-Mars aspects are frustrating. But I think what the need here is to take all of this stuff that's going on with relationships, these changes that you may be making with relationships, to do things with or without people in whatever way you decided. I think you're then going to have to figure out with the opposition of Mars how to take this change and how to bring more stability into your life, and how to work towards creating things with your resources, with people, in a way that not only gets you what you want, but in a way that gets you what you want in the right ways. That's stable, secure, that's grounded, that makes you feel right, that can last the test of time, that needs to be worked out. Okay, and that's the note that we end the day on. So very interesting, I think a big fated kind of day with the nodes involved, having to make decisions about relationships that you need to make that make you feel more authentic and comfortable in your life, and then working towards committing to that change with your relationships in a way that can last and is more stable. So that's the focus for today. Now, while that's going on, what else do we have that I want to talk about? Maybe I'll go here to Chiron. I'll go to Chiron, number 2. We've also got Chiron in Aries. So even though we're making decisions about relationships, we're moving forward, making some changes in some way, with Chiron in Aries, we could still feel a little bit uncomfortable, especially at the 0 degrees, about this change that we're making, a little bit unsure. Are we doing the right thing? Are we not? How do we move forward? What is this all about? here. And I think, again, needing to be patient and needing to be understanding. It's okay if you don't know all the answers. It's okay if you're not sure how to do things and what's happening next. It will come in time. Just be led by your heart and be led by your intuition and do what it is that you feel you need deeply in order to create a life that you feel more emotionally comfortable in. Especially with the North Node here in Cancer. This is not a time to do what you think you should do. And this is not a time to do what you have always done. This is a time to lead again with your heart and spirit and to do deep down what you know you need in order to fix and realign your life to be something that you like better. All right, now maybe the third and last thing that I'll talk about, perhaps. So a lot of this stuff I've already talked about a bit, so I don't know if I want to keep harping on the same thing. So maybe I'll go here, number 3, Venus on the South Node. Venus is moving closer on top of the South Node after messing with Saturn and Pluto for the past few days. And what this, I think, is going to bring is a lot of old stuff from the past, from relationships, back to be cleared out, to be dealt with, to be handled, to be healed from, and to be let go of so that you can move forward. All right. Maybe perhaps as a result of these decisions and choices that we've had to make about relationships in the past few days that are going to be very defining for our life, it's brought old relationship issues back to the forefront, front and center, to be dealt with. And that can be a little frustrating because now you got some old things to deal with, but it can also be very useful for you to help you break through finally old habits, old things from the past, and to move forward in better ways, creating better situations for yourself. And I think needing to not be afraid here to heal old scenarios and to let the past go and transform so that you can step into different parts of your life at this time that are going to be better. So that is your daily planetary forecast for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow.